In a move that has sent shockwaves through the international community, Israel has taken the unprecedented step of banning the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, or UNRWA, from operating within its borders. This decision, stemming from a proposed bill in the Knesset, has ignited a firestorm of controversy and raised urgent concerns about the fate of millions of Palestinian refugees who rely on UNRWA for vital support. The ban, if enacted, would deal a devastating blow to the agency's operations, forcing it to shutter its headquarters in East Jerusalem and revoke staff visas. This drastic action marks a significant escalation in Israel's long and often tumultuous relationship with the United Nations. Israel has a history of viewing the UN with suspicion, accusing it of harboring an anti-Israel bias. The proposed ban on UNRWA is widely seen as a manifestation of this deep-seated distrust, reflecting Israel's belief that the agency perpetuates a narrative of Palestinian victimhood and fuels animosity towards the Jewish state. The bill's proponents argue that UNRWA's existence hinders the path to peace, claiming that it perpetuates the refugee problem rather than contributing to its resolution. Despite facing widespread international condemnation, the Israeli government appears resolute in its decision to curtail UNRWA's presence. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has expressed reservations about the move, citing concerns over the potential humanitarian fallout. However, such appeals have seemingly fallen on deaf ears, underscoring the Israeli government's determination to assert its sovereignty and limit what it perceives as undue international influence. The proposed ban has ignited a fierce debate, with proponents lauding it as a necessary step to counter what they view as UNRWA's biased agenda, while critics denounce it as a reckless and inhumane act that will only exacerbate the plight of vulnerable Palestinian refugees. As the world watches with bated breath, the fate of UNRWA hangs precariously in the balance, its future uncertain amidst the escalating tensions of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The situation is particularly alarming given UNRWA's critical role in providing essential services to Palestinian refugees scattered across the region. For decades, the agency has served as a lifeline for millions, offering education, healthcare, social services, and a semblance of normalcy in the face of displacement and adversity. The potential consequences of Israel's ban are dire, threatening to plunge countless Palestinian families into further hardship and despair. Established in the aftermath of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, UNRWA emerged as a beacon of hope for the hundreds of thousands of Palestinians displaced from their homes during the conflict. Tasked with providing relief and assistance to these refugees, UNRWA quickly evolved into a multifaceted organization, expanding its mandate to address their long-term needs. Today, it stands as the sole UN agency dedicated to serving a specific refugee population, a testament to the unique and protracted nature of the Palestinian refugee crisis. UNRWA's operations extend across 5 fields of operation: Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip, providing a vital lifeline to over 5.7 million registered Palestinian refugees. The agency's services encompass a wide spectrum of essential needs, from education and healthcare to social services and infrastructure development. Its schools provide quality education to over 500,000 Palestinian children, nurturing their minds and fostering a sense of hope for the future. UNRWA's health clinics offer primary healthcare services, ensuring that even the most vulnerable refugees have access to essential medical care. The agency's social safety net programs provide crucial assistance to impoverished families, helping them meet their basic needs and break free from the cycle of poverty. Moreover, UNRWA plays a pivotal role in emergency response, providing vital aid and support to communities affected by conflict and natural disasters. In essence, UNRWA has become an indispensable lifeline for Palestinian refugees, providing not just material assistance, but also a sense of dignity and hope. Its presence extends far beyond the provision of basic services. It represents a commitment to upholding the rights and well-being of a people dispossessed and marginalized. The agency's work is not merely humanitarian. It is a testament to the enduring principles of human rights and international solidarity. The agency's contributions extend beyond its direct beneficiaries, fostering stability and promoting development in the volatile region. By providing essential services and creating employment opportunities, UNRWA helps to alleviate poverty and reduce tensions, contributing to a more secure and prosperous future for all. Israel's decision to ban UNRWA stems from a deeply rooted conviction that the agency is fundamentally flawed and counterproductive to the pursuit of peace in the region. The Israeli government views UNRWA as inherently biased against Israel, accusing it of perpetuating a narrative of Palestinian victimhood and fueling animosity towards the Jewish state. This perspective is rooted in a long history of mistrust and acrimony between Israel and the United Nations, dating back to the organization's early days. At the heart of Israel's critique lies the belief that UNRWA's unique mandate, which grants refugee status to descendants of Palestinians displaced in 1948, perpetuates the Palestinian refugee problem rather than contributing to its resolution. Unlike other refugee populations worldwide, Palestinians under UNRWA's purview inherit refugee status, regardless of their current circumstances. This, Israel argues, creates an anomaly that incentivizes the perpetuation of the refugee issue, hindering efforts to find a lasting solution. Furthermore, Israel accuses UNRWA of failing to adequately address instances of incitement and terrorism within its ranks. The Israeli government has repeatedly pointed to cases where UNRWA schools and facilities have been used for terrorist activities or to spread anti-Israel propaganda. These allegations, often supported by anecdotal evidence and selectively publicized, have fueled a narrative of UNRWA as complicit in perpetuating the conflict. Israel also criticizes UNRWA's financial management, alleging widespread corruption and inefficiency within the organization. These accusations, often leveled without concrete evidence, serve to undermine UNRWA's credibility and bolster the argument for its dismantlement. By portraying UNRWA as a mismanaged and biased entity, Israel seeks to justify its decision to ban the agency and curtail its operations. This perspective, deeply ingrained in Israel's political discourse, informs its staunch opposition to UNRWA's continued existence. The government's decision to ban the agency represents a culmination of these long-held grievances, a decisive move to assert its sovereignty and challenge what it perceives as a biased and counterproductive international organization. Israel's decision to ban UNRWA has been met with widespread condemnation from the international community, with numerous countries and organizations expressing grave concerns about the move's potential humanitarian and political ramifications. The United States, a steadfast ally of Israel, has voiced its opposition to the ban, urging the Israeli government to reconsider its decision and highlighting the critical role UNRWA plays in providing vital services to millions of Palestinian refugees. The European Union, a major donor to UNRWA, has also condemned the ban, emphasizing the agency's importance in fostering stability and promoting development in the volatile region. The EU has called on Israel to reverse its decision, warning that the move could exacerbate tensions and undermine the prospects for a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Human rights organizations have been particularly vocal in their criticism of Israel's decision, denouncing it as a reckless and inhumane act that will have devastating consequences for Palestinian refugees. Amnesty International has accused Israel of violating its international legal obligations by targeting an organization dedicated to providing humanitarian assistance to a vulnerable population. Human Rights Watch has warned that the ban will exacerbate the already dire humanitarian situation in the occupied Palestinian territories, pushing more families into poverty and despair. The United Nations itself has strongly condemned Israel's decision, with Secretary-General Antonio Guterres expressing his deep concern over the move's potential impact on the lives of millions of Palestinian refugees. Guterres has called on Israel to reverse its decision, emphasizing UNRWA's crucial role in providing essential services and upholding the rights of Palestinian refugees. The international community's response to Israel's ban on UNRWA reflects a deep unease about the move's potential to further destabilize an already volatile region. The widespread condemnation highlights the agency's vital role in providing essential services and upholding the rights of Palestinian refugees, as well as the potential humanitarian crisis that could unfold if its operations are curtailed. The potential human cost of Israel's ban on UNRWA is immeasurable, threatening to plunge millions of Palestinian refugees into a state of profound uncertainty and hardship. For generations, UNRWA has served as a lifeline for these communities, providing essential services that have enabled them to rebuild their lives and aspire for a better future. The agency's absence will leave a gaping void with dire consequences for the most vulnerable segments of Palestinian society. The most immediate impact will be felt in the realm of education. UNRWA runs over 700 schools across its 5 fields of operation, providing free, quality education to over 500,000 Palestinian children. The ban threatens to disrupt the education of these children, depriving them of their right to learning and jeopardizing their future prospects. The closure of UNRWA schools will not only impact students but also result in the loss of thousands of teaching and administrative jobs, further exacerbating the already dire economic situation in Palestinian refugee camps. Healthcare is another sector facing a precarious future. UNRWA operates over 140 health clinics, providing primary healthcare services to millions of Palestinian refugees. These clinics offer essential medical care, including vaccinations, maternal and child health services, and treatment for chronic diseases. The ban threatens to disrupt these vital services, leaving vulnerable populations without access to essential medical care and increasing the risk of disease outbreaks. UNRWA's social safety net programs are also at risk. The agency provides financial assistance and food aid to hundreds of thousands of impoverished Palestinian families, helping them meet their basic needs and break free from the cycle of poverty. The ban threatens to dismantle this safety net, pushing more families into destitution and exacerbating the already high levels of poverty and unemployment in Palestinian refugee camps. Beyond the immediate impact on essential services, the ban on UNRWA is likely to have far-reaching consequences for the social and psychological well-being of Palestinian refugees. The agency's presence has provided a sense of stability and hope for generations of Palestinians who have endured displacement and dispossession. Its absence will create a void that will be difficult to fill, leaving many feeling abandoned and uncertain about the future. The Israeli government's decision to ban UNRWA marks a pivotal juncture in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, casting a long shadow over the future of both the agency and the peace process. The international community now faces the daunting task of navigating a complex and volatile landscape, seeking to uphold the rights and well-being of Palestinian refugees while addressing Israel's security concerns. The potential consequences of the ban are far-reaching, with the potential to further destabilize an already fragile region. The loss of UNRWA's services could trigger a humanitarian crisis, exacerbating poverty, fueling tensions, and creating a fertile ground for radicalization and extremism. The international community must act swiftly and decisively to mitigate these risks, providing alternative avenues of support for Palestinian refugees and working to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. The future of UNRWA itself hangs precariously in the balance. The agency faces mounting pressure to reform and address accusations of bias and mismanagement, while simultaneously grappling with the challenges posed by Israel's ban. Finding a way forward will require open dialogue, a commitment to transparency and accountability, and a willingness to engage in constructive criticism. The international community must also address the root causes of the Palestinian refugee crisis, seeking a just and lasting solution that recognizes the rights and aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians. This will require a renewed commitment to the peace process, based on international law, mutual respect, and a shared vision for a future where both peoples can live side by side in peace and security. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, but the stakes are too high to ignore. The international community must remain engaged and committed to finding a just and sustainable solution for Palestinian refugees, one that upholds their rights, addresses their needs, and paves the way for a future where peace and justice prevail. The alternative is unthinkable, a future marred by further suffering, instability, and conflict.